are you doing?
Do you hear that?
Jessa.
She's listening. She's listening.
Hey, get up. I'm gonna have to take you to the hospital.
No, I need to warn her.
You're saying?
She's listening. She's listening. I thought I was locking that. Oh.
I really wanted to love this movie. Let's get into it. I'm going to try to just be as unfiltered and real as possible when we're talking about 2026's Undertone. I don't know if a lot of people have seen it yet. I was really excited about it. Maybe that's on me. A little backstory. I don't watch trailers. I don't really watch previews unless you're watching HBO or UFC and they keep showing the same thing. Sometimes that's hard to ignore. I went and watched Send Help and a couple of trailers came. There's like 35 minutes of Coca-Cola and insurance commercials and everything but a boner commercial. No shame if you're in the game. I'm just saying a couple of trailers came on that was, there was Obsessed and there was Undertone. And Undertone, that minute, looked like one of the coolest horror movies really of the year. I was really, really excited about it. Told my wife today, hey, we got to go see this. And she was like, I don't know. Has anybody that you like seen it? And I was like, only one person's talked about it. Let's go watch it. It looks amazing. I'm so excited about it. And if you look at what it's about, Undertone, it should hit for me, right? Undertone, podcasts, ghosts, demonology, like religious theology, all kinds of stuff that should really, really work. But for whatever reason, it just didn't. And the reasons that I'm going to try to keep this short is because at one point, my wife, who is from the deep South, the Delta Blues South, the Mississippi, New Orleans South, where if you're talking about religion, things with demons, things like that, she's immediately scared. And she's like, I don't want to do this. Hold my hand. That's why I bring her to movies. It's the best time. It really is. And if she's going to trust me to take her to a horror movie that I think is going to be scary, and it's not scary, I look bad. I look dumb. And for this film, Undertone, unfortunately, for 93 minutes, I would say 90 of those minutes, nothing happens. Okay? Let me break it down for you. We follow this podcaster named Evie. The coolest part of this conversation with my wife in the Cinemark recline chairs, right, with the heaters and everything's going right, was that's the most expensive mic. We talked about my SM7B mic compared to the mic that they have on camera, which is like $1,000. Like, we were debating that because nothing was happening in this film. Nothing. Evie is a podcaster. She runs the Undertone podcast with her friend from England, and they do this podcast at 3 a.m., the witching hour, for 10 to 15 minutes at a time, which is fine, okay, because Evie sometimes gets freaked out about the kind of supernatural nature of their podcast, and her friend who's in England, and it's more like, they're, 7 or 8 hours ahead, so it's 10, 11, noon over there, depending on the time that they're recording. And so you're following this podcast. They're talking about things. She's poking holes in it. She's kind of the logical person of the podcast trio here, or duo. The Undertone podcast. Now, also in the house is her mom. Her mom, old lady. Old people freak me out. That should be a big time win for this movie. The mom is on hospice. There's nursery rhymes playing creepily, right? Dun, 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 like Baba Black Sheep, London Bridge. This is going to be spoiler free, but London Bridge is falling down, Ring Around the Rosie, all these creepy nursery rhymes, theology, religious iconography, all this weird stuff that's going on. The end of the world, end of life care, all kinds of things could have set this up to be one of the most fascinating haunted house films. I don't even know, demonic possession, whatever you want to call it, ever. It had a great premise. And I gotta just give the props out. Let's get into the pros first, before we get into the things that pissed me off about this film. The sound design was impeccable, 10 out of 10. If you've ever podcasted or you love podcast or you do things with your headphones on, there's a lot of things that can happen in this cold ass garage where things are moving around. You can't hear anything. So the house itself becomes haunted. It could become possessed. It could have all these things that could happen on camera that could really, really bum you out. Unfortunately, this film decides to focus on none of that. We get a lot of negative space. We get A24, who I'm a fan of since Hereditary, exploring this space and showing us nothing. Just constantly zooming in. How about a fake dream sequence? How about we spin the bed around in a weird way? Nothing's gonna happen, okay? Nothing. We're gonna get an email from somebody that's gonna go over 10 really kind of creepy things that I filmed my wife saying while she's sleeping, and we're going to go over these 10 audio clips that are maybe 30 seconds long, maybe a minute, and we're going to stretch that into 93 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to take care of my mom, not very well. I'm going to talk about maybe parental things, not very well. I'm going to do these things to make me not care about you, definitely not well. And then I'm going to wrap it up with some nursery rhymes and some crayons and writing on the wall. And in a way, if Skinamarink scared the shit out of you, this will more. This will scare you so bad. Okay? If you're a fan of Paranormal Activity, this might get you where you itch. Okay? If you're a fan of Skinamarink, Paranormal Activity, movies like that with demonology and kind of weird, like a lot of style over substance, this might just work for you. But for me, it didn't. There was no scares in this film, unfortunately. I'm not trying to say I'm too cool for school, because I feel like with a lot of these new horror movies, I love everything. If I go watch a film, for the most part, I find things that I like about it. Now, the last 5 minutes of this film, the last 5 minutes was fucking killer. Unfortunately, it actually doesn't show you anything. You've got this whole world you can play with. All these things on the podcast, all these nursery rhymes, things that you're kind of building up, this core nucleus of things to freak me out, the viewer, but you're not going to show me fucking anything? Fuck you, man. Shame on you. Just pissed me off. The audio design was impeccable. That last 5 minutes, the sound is going crazy. You don't know what's happening. You're waiting for jump scares. You're waiting. It's just dark. You're just like, something's going to happen. We have explored this entire house. There's nothing else that can happen. If you also watch Presence, that Soderbergh film, that has about the kind of jump scares you can expect from this film. Okay? This is a highbrow horror film. Smarter than you, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it missed. I came out saying 6 out of 10. Right now, 5 out of 10. I'm pissed off about it. I've thought about it for like 15 hours. I've recorded this video 3 times, trying to make it under like 12 or 15 minutes because I just railed on it. But there is this thing about the last 5 minutes. If I have a 104-degree temperature, this could sneak its way up to an 8 out of 10. It could sneak its way into maybe the top 5 horror films of the year. Because if my mind isn't thinking right, you might trick me into thinking that something else is happening with that sound design at home in the dark with the fever. You could scare the piss out of a lot of people. And shame on you. That shit ain't right.